Good morning. We'll be getting started soon, allowing others to join the presentation. As we do begin to get underway, please consider using the Q&A function here on Zoom. For any questions you may have, for comments, feel free to use the chat function. We'll have support available to help answer as many questions as possible during the presentation in the Q&A section. This helps us keep track of questions that were asked and ones that have received an answer. Comments in the chat section will be collected to review at the end of the presentation. Welcome to the Tech Single Family HVAC Program Update and Incentive Structure webinar presentation. Here, we will discuss the Tech Single Family HVAC relaunch information, as well as layering programs such as the Central Coast Community Energies Program, Electrify Your Home, and the High Efficiency Electric Home Rebate Act, known as HEERRA, for their Single Family HVAC Rebate Program. More information regarding the HEERRA Multifamily Program can be found on the public reporting website, techcleanca.com. HERA provides point-of-sale rebates to enable low and moderate-income households across America to electrify their homes. HERA, much like California's flagship electrification program, Tech Clean California, share goals to help American families to save money on their monthly energy bills, create healthier indoor air environments, and reduce their carbon emissions. We will start today's presentation discussing the Tech Clean California Single Family HVAC Program's relaunch overview, as well as the HERA Single Family HVAC Rebate Program for low to moderate income qualified customers. Here, I'll present information about the incentive offerings and new program requirements. Let's start off by discussing onboarding requirements to enroll. For contractors that are newly enrolling in Tech or the 3CE program, you would need to complete the enrollment form that includes signing the Tech TPPA or Trade Ally Program Participation Agreement. To do this, please visit the Switches On website at switcheson.org for more information. Once that has been completed and information has been verified, you will receive an email with next steps to complete onboarding training videos on the AEA Learning website hosted by the Association for Energy Affordability. Onboarding videos contain details about Tech, the IRIS application platform, and other components of the Tech program, its tools, and how to navigate your participation. This training platform also contains videos on how to use the Tech HERA Income Verification Portal, which may help provide important information for contractors also participating in 3CE's Electrify Your Home program. For newly enrolling contractors that will also be participating in the HERA Single Family HVAC program, you would need to complete all steps listed above, as well as signing the HERA TPPA Trade Ally Program Participation Agreement, and watch the Single Family HERA training video, income verification video, and home assessment videos. For contractors that are currently enrolled in Tech HVAC and 3CE, to enroll in the new iteration of Tech HVAC, for contractors working in the 3CE region, it is highly recommended that you also watch the onboarded videos in AEA's training LMS, review updated knowledge base articles, and visit the switcheson.org website to view the new resources. There is no new update to the existing TPPA for contractors that are currently enrolled, nor are there new training requirements. For contractors that are currently enrolled and also would like to participate in the HERA program, above all still applies, but you would need to sign the TPPA for HERA Single Family HVAC and complete the training modules for HERA. This includes the assessment videos and the income verification portal videos. While it is not an enrollment requirement training, we highly recommend watching the PNNL Quality Install Tool video. For Tech Single Family HVAC program, in the summer of 2024, $25 million was proactively added to the already established $22 million in the statewide single-family HVAC budget to ensure incentive availability. Some notable goals in this process are to incorporate quantitative and qualitative data in efforts to balance of increasing incentive rates against ensuring a long-running program, increase the benefit per incentive dollar spent by targeting higher saving potential customers while retaining a simple overall structure, and limit bill impacts wherever possible. With the launch date coming real soon, contractors can begin their enrollment process now to ensure you'll be able to offer these incentives and rebates to your customers as soon as we go live. This program funding cycle includes these components to the program relaunch: demand response program enrollment for customers participating in tech and 3CE's funded programs, something that will be familiar to contractors that have recently participated in the tech heat pump water heater program, removing new installations of HVAC equipment that are dual fuel or gas fuel sourced, adding pre-approvals in IRIS for all HVAC offerings, and adding customer terms and conditions, otherwise known as T's and C's. For tech HVAC, the new incentive structure offerings will be based on these scenarios. Along with an existing heat source, if the customer has existing air conditioning, then the incentive available would be $1,500 if that system will be fully decommissioned as part of the install of the new heat pump equipment. If they will not be fully decommissioning that system, or they do not have an existing air conditioning, then that incentive will be $1,000. Please note that decommissioned is defined as being completely removed from operation. Existing furnaces can be left in for an emergency backup purpose, so long as that the heat pump is sized to meet the home's heating needs. Shared here is the program's definition of single-family home, which is classified as 1 to 4 individual freestanding single-family homes, including a residential property with a maximum of 4 dwelling units, an accessory dwelling unit, ADU, or junior accessory dwelling unit, junior ADU or JADU, an individual homeowner residence within a condominium, residential cooperative, or other similar property governed by homeowners association, HOA, or similar collective organization, or an individually owned mobile or manufactured home that is on a foundation, does not have an axle or license plate, is individually metered by the servicing electrical utility. 3CE's Electrify Your Home Partner Program has expanded incentives available for residents that are verified customers of 3CE, with additional incentives available for low to moderate income customers whose total household income is less than 150% of their area's median income, or AMI. In addition to needing to be an existing verified customer in 3CE's service territory, incentives are available to non-electric heat source to heat pump conversions only. There is no existing AC requirement for these incentive levels. Demand response enrollment is required for HVAC, and the existing furnace may not serve as a backup heat source. Additional incentives are offered for 3CE customers. This includes electrical upgrade incentives for up to $2,000 for eligible measures, $1,000 additional incentive per project for low to moderate income qualified customers, and if your home was damaged by a governor-proclaimed disaster, you may qualify for a $3,000 incentive. Note that a subclaim will automatically be created in IRIS based on the customer's zip code, but will be verified by the processing team to ensure 3CE customer eligibility. Multifamily HVAC, heat pump water heater, and single-family heat pump water heater incentives are also available. More information can be found at their website, 3cenergy.org. For some background on the HEEHRA program, on August 16th, 2022, President Joe Biden signed the IRA into law to help U.S. households save money on energy bills, improve energy efficiency, reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and improve indoor air quality. The IRA introduced 2 major home rebate programs: the HOMES program to improve energy efficiency of the entire home, and the HEEHRA program for electric equipment and appliance rebates for low to moderate income Californians. The IRA will also fund contractor training through CA training for residential energy contractor grants, known as TRAC, which are not yet available, as the Department of Energy estimates the IRA program will save Americans up to $1 billion in energy bills each year and support over 50,000 U.S. jobs. This program has a $45 million budget for rebates spread across California into 3 different regions for low to moderate income qualified customers. Those regions are divided into Northern, Southern, and Central California. Key requirements for this program are all customers are income verified for low to moderate incomes, retrofit projects only, meaning no new construction. HEEHRA's equipment requirement aligns with tech using the same Energy Star qualifying products list. HEEHRA rebates will not require demand response program enrollment. There are additional requirements during pre and post install, which include testing and reporting. Participants must sign an additional HEEHRA TPPA and take additional trainings to opt in as a participating HEEHRA contractor. For HEEHRA single-family HVAC rebates, there are two pathways for low and moderate income qualified customers. For low-income customers, customers that have a total household income that is less than 80% of their area's median income or AMI amount, that rebate is for up to $8,000 to cover 100% of qualified project costs with a $200 installer incentive available. The installer incentive is added to the rebate total once it is approved. This is not subject to project cost capping. Customers that qualify in the moderate income threshold of 80% to 150% AMI can qualify for up to $4,000 of a rebate to cover 50% of the qualified project costs. This means that if the total qualifying project cost amount is more than $8,000, then the full $4,000 rebate would be available on approved claims. While you can install up to 2 units, replacing existing qualifying pieces of equipment to tech and 3CE incentives, qualifying HEEHRA participants can only receive a rebate for the first unit installed. While we're discussing the HEEHRA rebate amount, here's a breakdown of the HEEHRA single-family HVAC budget. Regional budgets are based on the county project it is completed in. Please visit the Tech Knowledge Base article on how to navigate the tech budget table for more information. Direct links to Tech Knowledge Base can be found at the switcheson.org website at switchison.org. Program funding of $25 million will be open and available for both low and moderate income qualified customers. Please note that once the low or moderate funding has been exhausted, moderate income projects will no longer be funded. That $20 million budget will exclusively be available to customers whose total household income is less than 80% of the AMI. As always, it is best practice to monitor and check the budget table prior to committing incentives and/or rebates to your customers. This information may be found on the public reporting website at techcleanca.com/incentives. Getting into single-family heat pump HVAC, requirements and assessments, we will get into the overview of qualifying equipment for Tech Clean HVAC program, 3CE's Electrify Your Home, and the HEEHRA single-family HVAC rebate program. Eligible HVAC units must be Energy Star listed models to allow integration with California Energy Commission's HEEHRA rebates. Products can either be two-stage or variable capacity. Single-stage systems are not eligible for incentives or rebates. New gas furnaces cannot be installed as part of the heat pump project, meaning no hybrid systems. Pre-existing furnaces can be left in for a backup heating for tech and for HEEHRA, so long as the heat pump being installed has been properly sized for the home's heating needs. Important to note, all AHRI listed models will be selectable options in IRIS. However, only qualifying models will populate an incentive amount when selected. The full list of qualifying products will still be available at the Switches On website under their product finder. More information about qualifying equipment, makes, and models can be found on the switcheson.org website. When inputting materials in the IRIS portal for HVAC claims, the source ID is still the equipment's AHRI number. To expand on the updated dual fuel rules for tech and HEEHRA rebates, incentives will not be offered for the installation of new furnaces, including hybrid heat pumps. However, the two programs will allow the installation of a heat pump to existing furnaces only. When adding a heat pump to an existing furnace, it must be set to function as the primary heat source. The existing furnace must be set up only to run in emergency scenarios or set up to use the blower only. In cases where a heat pump was added to a system, new questions have been added to the claim form to ask, what changeover temperature was programmed? What is the age of the existing furnace? And what controls are being used to enable dual fuel operation? Going into documentation requirements, we will begin with the tech customer terms and conditions, also known as the T's and C's. That includes customer's name, address, and signature, account holder signature, DR enrollment confirmation, and the document must be dated on or after the launch date. Documents must be fully completed or the reservation and/or claim will be rejected. Please ensure required boxes have the proper checkboxes checked, and the information must match what you have typed into Iris. For more information about this document and allowable signatures and dates, please refer to the knowledge base article titled Customer Terms and Conditions and Invoice Requirements. The next document that is required for all submissions is the customer invoice. This includes the invoice date, which should be added to the day, which should be dated the day of or after the launch of the program. Submissions with invoices dated before the launch date of the program will be rejected as program incentives and rebates are not retroactive for previously sold or completed installs. You will also be asked the customer's name, the address of the project, the name of the incentive/rebate, and the full dollar amount. Any additional anticipated incentives and discounts, equipment details including the quantity, all related project costs, the amount entered in Iris should total the cost prior to the internal or external incentives and discounts being removed. The next document that is required for all submissions is the customer invoice. This includes invoice date, which should be dated the day of or after the launch of the program. Submissions with invoices dated before the launch date of the program will be rejected. Here we will talk about demand response, what it means, and why it's important. Demand response programs reward customers for making small changes in their energy usage, most often to decrease electricity during peak hours. As California continues to electrify, we see in the evening or peak hours that there is more electricity demand on the grid as compared to the middle of the day when solar and clean energy are more abundant. This makes it harder for Californians to provide enough clean energy to meet the evening demand for electricity in a way that is clean and reliable. So, in order to continue to electrify and also make California's electricity supply cleaner with more renewable resources, we have to shift some of the electricity demand out of the evening hours and into the daytime. Demand response enrollment is required for Tech HVAC and 3CE HVAC incentives, but is not required for HEEHRA rebates. The demand response program enrollment is a great opportunity to optimize as they incentivize participants to make slight shifts to when they use electricity. There are all sorts of DR programs which customers can enroll in to meet this requirement. Some will text or email customers to reduce their energy usage for a couple of hours during summer evenings. Some will actually connect to a technologies such as a smart thermostat to communicate automatically with the equipment so customers don't have to actively do anything to save that energy. Even when appliances are connected, customers have the option to adjust their equipment settings or opt out. And to sweeten the deal, most programs reward customers for signing up and or for participating on an ongoing basis. The Tech Customer Program Terms and Conditions links to the customer-facing website, which includes more information about demand response, frequently asked questions, and DR program choices. You'll need to review each customer's terms and conditions carefully to make sure that they've signed all required areas and all checkboxes are checked for the demand enrollment requirement. We will have to reject any application with terms and conditions that are not fully completed. Customers will likely be unfamiliar with the concept of demand response, so as a contractor, you will be the trusted go-to person to help customers walk through that requirement. We ask that you familiarize yourself with demand response programs, options to choose. Some contractors have shared with us that it hasn't made their sales more complicated and that they've enrolled in programs to understand it better themselves. The most common choice so far, Connect, even provides contractors with an enrollment bonus for each customer that signs up with their referral link. And through the state, there are other options that could be really beneficial for specific types of customers. For example, a customer who has a home battery can earn a lot of money, but enrolling in a battery demand response program can be helpful as well. Please work with each of your customers to follow up to make sure that they actually get enrolled in a demand response program. The demand response requirements Contractor's Knowledge Base article has resources to help you out with this, including some key strategies for success recommended by other contractors and how to sign up for Connect Referrals program. Reach out to the tech contractor email address if you're running into any questions or any difficulties with demand response enrollment. For income qualified programs such as HEEHRA's Single Family HVAC and 3CE's Electrify Your Home program, the income verification portal can be found at www.HEEHRA-incomeportal.com. Here, customers will create an account by using their email address and a password of their creation. They will then upload documentation for their total household income for all working adults that reside there. Customers would need to have the email address of the enrolled and participating contractor they have chosen to work with. Customers can qualify via income documentation or categorical eligibility. Information about what the AMI threshold is for their county can be found on this website, along with information about what programs the customer may be enrolled in that satisfies the categorical eligibility criteria. After submission and the review of the application, an email will be sent to the customer and the email address the customer provided for the contractor. That email will contain a PDF of the disposition. This PDF is to be uploaded to the IRS reservation and claim to establish what incentives that the customer qualifies for. For more information on the income verification portal, please visit the income verification tool video that is available. For HEEHRA, there are 3 assessments that must be completed and submitted with your claim: the limited HVAC assessment, the home safety testing, both to be completed prior to the beginning of installation, and the combustion appliance safety testing, known as CAS testing, that must be completed pre-installation as well as post-installation. More information will be covered in the future training videos: combustion appliance zone and safety, and the home assessment, as well as the PNNL quality install tool. Please note, projects cannot be funded if any of the pre-installation assessments are missed. We cannot provide exceptions. Starting with the limited HVAC assessment, all HEEHRA HVAC projects will require contractors to collect information on the following areas of the home: general information, condition area, year the home was built, electrical panel amps, information regarding the condition of the ceiling, attic, heating and or cooling ducts, ventilation systems such as bathroom, kitchen, laundry room exhaust fans, heating and cooling conditions of the system. The information shall be collected via the web-based PNNL quality install tool at the start of the project and can be exported later attached to the claim in IRS. The next documentation requirement for all HEEHRA single-family HVAC projects is the home safety testing. Here, you will inspect conditions of the home as it relates to moisture and mold and drainage and the integrity of the roof. No specific certifications are needed to conduct any of these inspections. Contractors are expected to use their best judgment when making a disposition of potential mold, moisture, and drainage or the condition of the roof. Questions will be asked: would a mold or moisture problem be exacerbated by the HVAC install? Would the roof damage impact the operation and longevity of the HVAC system? Document the grading around the home to see if it is sloped away from the house. Check for standing water in the crawl space or basement. Check gutters and downspouts and document their condition. Failing results or potential issues must be communicated verbally and in writing to the customer. Dispositions do not affect the project's ability to qualify for rebates. These results will be entered into IRS claims into the IRS claim as good or potential issues. Please inform and refer your customers to other income qualified programs such as Energy Savings Assistance Program, known as ESA, the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program, known as LIHEAP, and the Department of Energy's Weatherization Assistance Program, WAP. The third of the three assessments for HEEHRA single-family HVAC is the combustion appliance safety testing known as CAS. CAS diagnostic testing is conducted to ensure combustion appliances are operating at safe conditions. CAS testing is required for pre-installation and post-installation for HERA projects that leave a combustion appliance in the conditioned living space. CAS testing may be conducted by a technician holding credentials through the Building Performance Institute, known as BPI, Natural Gas Appliance Test, known as NGAT, or those that have completed the Combustion Appliance Safety Test course from NCI, the National Comfort Institute. More information will be coming soon on free classes available to tech-enrolled contractors. The minimum testing requirements for combustion appliances are as follows: ambient CO test, gas leak detection testing, spillage testing, undiluted CO testing, and checking for proper venting. A copy of the safety results must be shared with the customer at the conclusion of testing. Data results of the CAS testing and a copy of the CAS test are to be entered and uploaded within the claim in Iris. Testers can fill out their own CAS form if minimum tests are included. Testers without a CAS form can document results via the PNNL quality install tool. Here we'll have a look at a handy table to view the similarities and differences between the Tech Single-Family HVAC program, HERA Single-Family HVAC program, and 3CE's Electrify Your Home program. Both Tech and HERA are open statewide to single-family homes, including 1 to 4 unit condos and mobile homes. For 3CE, you must be a 3CE customer in the Central Coast Community Energy's service territory. For customer eligibility, Tech and the 3CE have incentives available, open to all customers regardless of income levels. 3CE also has higher incentives available to customers who are income qualified that have a total household income that are less than 150% of their county's AMI. The HERA program has rebates available for customers who make less than 150% of their local AMI, with a higher rebate amount up to $8,000 available to customers who are categorically qualified or have a total household income that is less than 80% of their local AMI. Additionally, there are other incentives available for 3CE projects, including incentives for electrical upgrades, and the HERA program has a $200 installer bonus for projects for customers whose income are less than 80% of the local AMI. All three programs have the same equipment qualification criteria and share the same guidelines that new gas furnaces, including hybrid systems, cannot be installed as part of the heat pump project. Tech and HERA align with the guidelines that existing furnaces can be left as a backup emergency heat source so long as that the heat pump is properly sized to satisfy the heating needs of the home, where existing furnaces can only be left in blower and cannot be used as an emergency backup scenario situation for 3CE's program. For maximum number of rebates per home, you'll see that Tech and 3CE align, where you can receive 2 incentives for 2 new installed HVAC units based on condensers installed, and the HERA program only allows for 1 rebate per dwelling. Tech and 3CE's incentives can be stacked with other incentives and rebate, as can HERA so long as the incentive or rebate is not federally funded. Permits are required on all projects. Full HERS package are required to be uploaded into the heat pump HVAC claim form. The only exception where that is not the case include mobile homes, ductless mini-split systems in exempt climate zones, if there's asbestos presence in the ducts, or other. If other is selected, you must input the reason in Iris. For instances where HERS testing is not required, based on job scope, the participating contractor will be required to self-report on post-installation data through the PNNL quality install tool. Combustion appliance testing. CAS testing is required when major atmospherically vented combustion appliances, HVAC, and/or water heater remain in place after the following rebate measure has been installed: HVAC systems, heat pump water heater, air sealing, and insulation that has an air sealing effect. Continuing between the similarities and differences with Tech, 3CE, and HERA, permits are required for all jobs, along with HERS testing. As mentioned earlier, for instances where HERS testing is not required, the participating contractor is required to self-report post-installation data through the PNNL quality install tool and attach that information into the claim. Contractor enrollment requirements align with Tech and 3CE, signing the participation agreement and completing program training. For HERA, contractors must sign the HERA participation agreement and complete the required training for both programs. The customer requirements align with Tech and 3CE, both needing the customer terms and conditions to be filled out and signed, along with the customer enrolling in a demand response program. HERA does not have a demand response requirement. To submit the rebate claim for HERA, you would need to upload a copy of the approval letter from the income verification portal and upload them both fully filled out copies of the Tech terms and condition and HERA terms and conditions. The home assessment and mold safety identification and CAS testing requirements belong to the HERA program and are not applicable for either Tech or 3CE. All programs require a copy of the final invoice to be submitted with the claim. Contractors are also required to submit an itemized statement of work that breaks down the cost of equipment and labor. Section B has us exploring IRIS updates, pre-approvals, and claim submissions. New to this program rollout is the reservation requirement. Pre-approved reservations are a requirement for single-family HVAC projects. When you have sold the job and gathered all required information necessary in creating the claim reservation, start that process in IRIS to ensure that the project will be pre-approved for funding while funding is available. Reservations expire 120 days after they have been approved. Please email tech.contractor@energy-solution.com to communicate any extenuating circumstances that would prevent a claim from being submitted prior to that reservation expiring. Reservations are for the specific customer that they were created for. Once the reservation is submitted for pre-approval, the address in the customer information cannot be changed. If the customer information changes between an approved reservation and a submitted claim, it may be subject to rejection. Please note that a reservation only reserves funds for that specific customer and not a particular contractor. If the customer cancels, that reservation of funds is forfeited. While funding is available, a contractor can create a reservation by starting an application pre-approval process. Program participating contractors that are enrolled can visit the IRIS portal at catecincentives.com, log into their account, and click New Pre-Approval button at the top right-hand side of the webpage. Next, you will fill out a basic information for your customers, such as their full name and site address. The next requirement would be uploading a signed contract of the fully filled out terms and conditions document, of which is signed and dated on or after the program launch date to be valid. Once that is completed and uploaded, manually press the Save to Draft button at the bottom of the page. This will generate a claim number and will start the workflow to have a processor review the information submitted. The status of that claim will initially be under review, and a funder request will be created within that stage for all programs that your project may qualify for, incentives or rebates. Note that funding is only reserved once the IRIS pre-approval is approved by the program team. Just creating and submitting the reservation does not reserve funds. Based on the answers you are provided, the funder request will be approved or rejected within 2 weeks. This will show up for each incentive that you are applying for in IRIS. As an example, if you're just applying for Tech, only one funder request will appear. If you're applying for Tech, HERA, and 3CE, you would have 3 funder requests appear. Once all of the funder requests have been received, a disposition and of one or more of your projects may show approved. You may move forward with your project, and you can now turn that reservation into a claim. Information will be transferred from the reservation to the claim, and some key information, such as customer name and address, shall not be changed. For those that are currently participating in Tech's program and are familiar with IRIS, there are new fields that you will notice that have been added. Fields asking questions such as, is this a 3CE customer? What income range does this customer fall into? Did a contractor confirm that the customer will enroll in a demand response program? Information about the existing heating distribution system, and if the customer has existing air conditioning. Invoice material cost, meaning the total cost for all materials used on the project. Did the contractor install backup electric resistance heat strips? The date on the terms and conditions were assigned, and an itemized statement of work. New fields in IRIS also include those that are dependent on the answers given that will determine what the next question would be, if any. Did the customer confirm that they will enroll in a demand response program? If yes, then the question will expand to ask, which demand response program did the customer enroll in? Here's the complete list of the if this, then this questions you'll have in your new claim in IRIS. Unique to HEEHRA, here's a list of additional questions and fields that you'll find in IRIS when creating a claim. Questions that range from the limited HVAC assessment, home safety assessment, and CO reads and appliance dispositions from your CAS testing. To help answer a question that will be asked frequently about what do I do in regards to jobs that are sold prior to the launch date? If the project is not created in IRIS prior to the launch date, the incentive and program rules will be the same as it was prior to the program launch. However, the claim form will be updated for this program launch. What that means is that there will still be some required fields and documents that you may have not have for these projects, such as itemized statement of work. If that's the case, please just upload a placeholder document so that the incentives will populate. We would advise you to try to get these projects sold before the launch date into IRIS prior to November 1st to help avoid any input placement information errors in the claim form. HERA rebates are not retroactive. Projects sold and or installed prior to the launch date will not be eligible for HERA rebates or the updated incentive amounts. Thank you for your time. For those that have questions, please continue to direct them to the Q&A section of Zoom. We will do our best to answer them with the time that we have remaining. You can also contact us at tech.contractor@energy-solution.com. Follow-up information will be emailed out with links and resources shared today. That'll take us into some of the questions. Let's see if we have some of our panelists available to help us out.
Sure, I'll just start going through some of these live that we have here. So I see we have one from Cam. It says, will the $1,000 tech rebate for heat pumps stack with the HERA rebate? And yes, those can be stacked. And going through the list as well, I see we have, when will this presentation be available? Once we have this recording, we'll be posting it on our YouTube channel within the coming days. And then let's see. We also have a question here about if a customer had a prior IRIS claim, but it was canceled because the project never started, is the customer able to submit a new claim?
For that one, I'd say generally no. But if you have a specific project in mind, please feel free to reach out to us and we can weigh in on that.
I'll pick this next one here, and also project team, feel free to call out any others that you would like to highlight. But we have, is it correct that an approved reservation does not actually reserve fund? If so, what is being reserved?
That is not correct. A approved reservation does reserve funds. That is the entire point of the pre-approval process and reservations.
Thanks for clarifying that one. And then I see a question from Jennifer. It says, will we need to fill out the customer's income range if they're only applying for a tech? And that the answer to that is no, since the income qualification is not a requirement for tech incentives only. Okay, project team, any other ones that you want to call out here? And then Angie, I also see your comment. Sorry, Tom, to cut you off, but just I see one in the chat that she shared, and also just want to set a quick reminder to put any questions in the Q&A portion. But you said you could not see the iris for pre-approval yet. That is correct. Once we launch the program and share that date with you all via email, the updates for the pre-approval process will be reflected in iris as well. And again, please use that Q&A function. Okay, I see Carter, you said we wanted to answer this one live. So what do you recommend doing in an emergency replacement situation?
I don't know if I intended to hit the live button there. But I would say in an emergency replacement situation, you know, please let us know if this is something that has happened, and we can do our best to potentially expedite the reservation approval and get you that confidence as soon as possible. But yeah, as a reminder, we would need that reservation to be approved prior to you actually, excuse me for my dog, actually moving forward with that installation.
Thank you. I see another one I'm just going to answer live here is there any training for all this paperwork? It's a great question. So we do have the contractor knowledge base, which we will be sure to put into the chat as well. And that'll be a great resource to see description and more information about all these requirements that we've mentioned today. And I will actually hand it off to you, Tom, because I know I cut you off before.
Oh, that's all right, Lauren. There was just a good question here from an anonymous attendee about whether a reservation needs to be approved before an installation actually takes place. I wrote out an answer here, but generally, this is of course recommended. The purpose of the reservation is just to ensure that the project can be funded through the program. We recognize that that isn't always possible in the case of an emergency replacement. Projects like this can, of course, be installed before a reservation is made, but that does come with the risk of not having those funds available. If we're early on or just in the active life of the program, chances are it's going to be fine. Installing a project before a reservation is made does not mean that it won't be eligible for funding. It just means that that funding is not guaranteed until that reservation is made, whether that reservation occurs before or after the installation itself. Hope that's clear. I think it's worth highlighting.
Yeah, thank you, Tom, for highlighting that one. And we have, I see 50 open questions. So we're working to get through these as much as we can. And we'll also publish this recording again on our YouTube channel after this has been completed. And then also would just suggest you to take a look at our contractor knowledge base, which will have more information about the program details that we've shared today. So I'm just going to keep looking through these and would encourage anyone else in the project team to highlight any that we would like to take a look at. So let's see. I saw a couple questions here about, is the rebate instant or does it go to the customer? So you as a contractor can choose if you wish to provide a point of sale discount. Or a delayed pass-through, providing it to them after you've received the incentives from Tech Clean California. So that is up to you. And then you would eventually pass those on to the customer. And again, to reiterate a common question that I've seen here in the chat, start date, we do not have an exact start date yet. As we mentioned in the email that we sent to our contractor base last week, it will be sometime this November. So stay tuned. We'll be sharing more information when that go ahead is given and the exact date. From here on, the changes that we've discussed here and the new HEEHRA rebates will not be available. And then as a reminder, we will not accept projects that have signed customer terms and conditions that are dated before that launch date. Okay, just scrolling through here to see if there's any other ones I want to point out. Again, I see another common question about dashboard and seeing if customers are approved and pre-approvals. So for that, we will be sending emails on a weekly basis about the pre-approvals, if they're approved or rejected. But do encourage you guys to go into Iris and check the notifications section as well to see if any other updates, just so that you can stay on top of it on your end as well. And then I also see a question from Ted. When will the HEEHRA required videos become available? The onboarding videos are available now. So if someone from the project team can put the LMS link in the chat, those are available now for contractors to start taking and get prepped to offer those. Okay. And then let's see. Another question, when will the income verification portal open? I saw that a few times. That will open at the same time that we announce that launch date. So currently not available, but will be open when the launch date is here. Seen a couple of questions about the itemized statement of work, and so would request someone from the project team to put that knowledge base link into the chat. But yes, that is required to break down by labor and material costs on our incentives. And I've seen some questions about the timing for pre-approvals to be approved or rejected. I'm wondering, Carter, if you may be able to speak a little bit more to that.
Yeah, we intend on approving or rejecting all pre-approvals within 2 weeks of their submission to us. But hopefully we can do that much sooner for most reservations that come in. As far as from submission of the claim to payment, currently our timeline for tech HVAC is also about 2 weeks, and we don't foresee any delays to that with the changes on HEEHRA.
Thanks, Carter. I see another question here that says, is the reservation process the same for tech claims reservation? So yes, tech single-family HVAC and HEEHRA single-family HVAC will have the same reservation process. I will just call out that the tech single-family water heater incentives currently do not have that same reservation process, and we'll just request that someone from the project team please puts that reservation knowledge base article in the chat as well.
Lauren, I know that we've discussed this a little bit. I see that an answer is currently being typed here to this question in the Q&A, but could we just have a little bit more detail about how claims submitted prior to this new launch will be handled? So any tech HVAC claims that would need to comply with just the current version of the rules and how those will be handled after the program launch date, which I would like to highlight just to, again, ameliorate any additional confusion in the QA. That launch date is not slated for November 1st. It is sometime in November. That date is to be determined. it will be sometime within that November window, but the exact date is not determined. But Lauren, as far as the claims handling goes, could you maybe highlight those details a little bit further?
Yeah, I can answer that, Lauren. If the claim has already been created in Iris, and this is, a tech and a 3CE claim, nothing will be changing as far as the claim form. Nothing additional is needed from participants. It'll be the claim form that is changing on that launch date. And if you have a earlier project that would qualify for tech or 3CE, you would need to submit some potentially dummy information for some of the new requirements, and you would receive the same incentives that you would have been eligible for. And this is all, again, written out in the emails we've been sending, as well as the knowledge base articles.
Perfect. And any new jobs that are sold or new claims created between now and that launch date will just be held to the original requirements that we currently use. Thank you, Carter.
I do see a question about linking the knowledge base portal, and could someone from the program team please put that in the chat and in the Q&A? See Jorge is putting that, so thank you. I do see a question about the new T's and C's form for tech and HEEHRA, and that is on the tech website, available now, and we'll put that in the chat as well. It's in the tech T's and C's and invoice requirements knowledge base article. I see Dave has a question. Did anyone disclose about when the 3CE funds will be available? So that will be at the same time as these tech single family HVAC and HEEHRA rebates. Those will all be at the same time at that November date that is still TBD. But again, we'll be announcing that via email, so stay tuned.
Yeah, I will just add that 3CE currently does have budgets. So all that's changing is some of the incentive levels and the program requirements to align with tech and HEEHRA.
Yes, thanks for clarifying that. I see someone has a question about, they say, so sign a contract, include the rebate on the contract, and wait for approval to install. We do have some more details about the reservation process in our contractor knowledge base. We have a specific article about that, so if someone from the program team could link that as well, that can help guide you through that reservation process, excuse me. Okay, I see we have a question here as well that says, can you explain the difference between the $1,500 rebate and $1,000 rebate for tech about capping gas versus not capping gas? Can you expand on that? You mentioned something about leaving the current furnace as emergency heating. So I might throw that one to you, Carter.
Yeah, so if the furnace is fully decommissioned and the system has previous AC, then excuse me, if the home has previous AC, then the project is eligible for $1,500 from tech. If that previous furnace is not fully decommissioned and or the home did not have previous AC, then the project is just eligible for $1,000. This is also will be on the recording, is on our contractor knowledge base, and is throughout all of our trainings.
Thanks everyone as we're working through these many questions. I see we still have about 30 still here in the chats. We're gonna keep looking through these to identify which one we want to go through next. And I see a question about currently our invoices show a bundled cost to clients, so one total. Under the new requirements, it asks for a T&M breakdown. Can this be a separate document? Is it even needed? So great question. We do have a separate document that's itemized statement of work, and we have a template for you on our contractor knowledge base. And so that one, just to reiterate, does not need to be shown to the customer, but it is required to be uploaded into the IRS claim form.
Thanks, Lauren. I think we are just about at time, so I'll just say to this group, we really appreciate the feedback and all of the questions that you've asked. If we did not have the opportunity to answer a specific question, we'll make sure to follow up with our FAQs from this call. And we'll also use this to incorporate into our existing knowledge base articles and those FAQs online. So we aim to make sure that as much of this is clarified to you and your customers as possible.
Yeah, thanks, Carter, for that note. This final minute, just want to say thank you, everyone, for attending. And if you have any questions, please send those to tech.contractor@energy-solution.com. And again, as Carter mentioned, we will be sending follow-ups to unanswered Q&A in the chat as well. Either posting or a direct email, probably posting in the contractor knowledge base. But yes, thank you for attending today, and I'll leave it to the team if there are any other final comments.
No, thank you, everyone.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you, Sam, for the presentation. Lauren, Carter, appreciate the Q&A. Take care, all.
Great, thanks. Have a good rest of your day.
Bye.